Hi, this is Group 8 with team members Charlene, Krystal, Gwyneth Fernandez, Nicole Pagdonsolan, Lissett and Laura Slater. The PICO question that we developed and researched is, in older adults aged 65 years and older, does daily exercise compared to a sedentary lifestyle reduce the risk of dementia? This is Gwen and I'm presenting on the background and problem. Because older adults lead an increasingly sedentary lifestyle as they age, they are more predisposed to developing dementia. Currently, there is a high prevalence of dementia in the older adult population, approximately 5.8 million Americans, and nearly 14 million people 65 years of age or older will have dementia by 2060. Physical activity is an easily modifiable risk factor for Alzheimer's, and increased exercise has been shown to improve cognitive function.
Hello, my name is Lissett and I'll be discussing our purpose. Our PICO question is, in older adults aged 65 years and older, does daily exercise compared to a sedentary lifestyle reduce the risk of dementia? Our population is older adults aged 65 and older. Our intervention is daily exercise. Comparison is sedentary lifestyle, and our outcome is reduced risk of dementia.
Hello, I'm Charlene, and I'll discuss the evidence collection method. Evidence and data were collected through UNLV Libraries database, PubMed, National Institute of Health, and Google Scholar. The research is composed of cohort studies, cross-sectional studies, and randomized clinical control trials. The research articles were evaluated using the evidence rating system of grading of recommendations, assessment, development, and evaluation, also known as GRADE. All articles utilized in our collection of evidence were peer-reviewed and published after 2017.
Hi, my name is Nicole and I'll be discussing the grading of evidence. We've compiled 12 total research articles which studied the impact of physical activity on older adults with dementia, Alzheimer's disease, or mild to moderate levels of cognitive impairment. Of those 12 articles, 3 were observational cohort studies, 8 were randomized control trials, and 1 was a cross-sectional study. All 12 of our articles were given a B rating using the evidence rating system of grading of recommendations, assessment, development, and evaluation, also known as GRADE.
Hi, I'm Laura, and I'll be talking about the summary of evidence for our compiled significant research articles. In these 4 studies, which were either observational cohort studies or a type of randomized controlled trial, all are related to physical activity and cognitive function in older adults. All 4 of these studies had significant p-values below 0.05. Although the settings were face-to-face or in the hospital, the type of setting of the 2 studies were unknown. In the first 2 studies, they have concluded that moderate to high-intensity exercise helped delay the decline of cognitive function. Although the third study did not mention what intensity level the physical activity was. It concluded that it did benefit cognitive function in acutely hospitalized patients. The last study concluded that choreography is a more beneficial type of physical activity than physical therapy.
Hi, I'm Krystal. Continuing on the summary of evidence, we have these other 4 studies. 3 of them were randomized controlled trials, and 1 was a cohort study. Locations of these studies include an outpatient clinic, neurology clinic, a nursing home, and in the community. Again, each study showed statistical significance as each study procured a p-value below 0.05. From an analysis of these studies, we can see that doing some form of exercise has potential for helping cognitive function and delaying cognitive decline.
Hi, this is Charlene. After analyzing the data, we found that there were several key limitations noted in the studies examined. The most notable included length of study, the subjective methods for gathering the data, sample size, and the varying intensities of physical activity. Under length of study, several of the studies lasted either from a week to approximately 6 to 12 months in duration. In order to have results that are more applicable to a more generalized population, these studies would need to be longer in duration. As for subjective methods for gathering data, several studies utilized a subjective form of data collection, such as questionnaires or interviews. These forms of data collection are at high risk for bias and inconsistency since the participants have different levels of cognitive impairment. Another limitation was sample size, considering that a few studies had a range of 36 participants to hundreds. The small sample size would not be accurate for representing a broader population. Larger sample sizes would be preferred. For varying intensities of physical activity, further research is needed to examine what minimum level of intensity, whether it is from low, moderate, or high levels of physical activity, is required to observe a statistically significant decrease of cognitive impairment in older adults.
Hi, it's Krystal again, closing off at the conclusion. From a majority of our compiled research articles, we found that physical inactivity is a modifiable risk factor that can decrease the incidence of dementia in older adults, as evidenced by 9 out of 12 articles in favor that daily exercise can help improve cognitive decline and delay physical and mental decline. This is supported by 100% of our compiled studies scoring a strength of evidence rating of B. This grade is due to limitations indicating risk for bias that can be exemplified by varying lengths of studies, subjective methods of gathering the data, small sample sizes, and the varying intensities of physical activity.